I knew that I wanted to make a difference to help support children like Taryn, but I didn't really know how many families out there needed our same support that we were getting. I knew they must be out there, but I wasn't 100% sure. And through my organisation and running workshops, I've had so many stories. I had an email recently from a lady in Auckland who his child's got Down syndrome. He's 12 and they've been using Makaton and PEX with him, and she said she came across Voice 3 Hands and what we were doing, and she just said thank you so much, because I now know what the next step is for my son. He needs more, and being able to have access to New Zealand Sign Language gives him that more of that real communication. So it's not just about that functional communication, being able to say I want to go to the toilet. It's about saying that, oh, I really enjoy being here, you know, that real emotional stuff. And to have families say that to me, it's really amazing, and that we're really giving children out there a real great voice.
I've been an intellectual disability nurse for 30 years, and my whole passion inside and outside of work is enhancing the quality of care for people with an intellectual disability. And if they can't communicate their need, then they can't self-empower themselves. The role of Voice Through Your Hands in the community is to enhance visual communication for people of all ages. It's to enhance that communication for carers, for families, and for people themselves with disabilities. It's important that Voice Through Your Hands have that role, because everyone has the right to communicate, everyone has the right to empower their voice and to be heard within community. And if you can't communicate verbally, then you should be given the opportunity to communicate through other means.
The purpose of the workshops that we run is we really want to show people that by the end of the workshop that they know that communication is more than just talking, that they have some practical tools to be able to use visual communication in New Zealand Sign Language, and also to have the confidence to be able to use it. And how we do that is a really fun, interactive workshop. There's a lot of laughter from start to finish, and people really get a real understanding and a sense that they can do this. They can really use visual communication in New Zealand Sign Language in their everyday life, and to be able to dispel some of the fears that people have around using New Zealand Sign Language. For example, you know, one of the biggest ones that people are really worried about, that if you're going to use New Zealand Sign Language, then our children aren't going to be able to communicate and or not use their words, because it's going to be so much easier to sign, so then they're not going to talk. Actually, the reverse is true. Signing actually encourages the speech, because what it does is it encourages the communication. And when somebody is communicating with you, you communicate more, so you're talking more to them, and that whole signing, and you've got an understanding of what they're trying to say and helping them to articulate the words. So then by the end of it, they are actually being able to talk and say the same things and read a book, like, so other people can understand. And the way we do that is I show them the journey of my daughter. From the ages when she started school at 5 up till 7, she had no speech whatsoever. And so, but now at the age of 12, you can actually have a conversation with her using spoken word. And she uses a lot of sign, and still uses a lot of sign, to help her with the next step, but like scaffolding her in her language building.
If you're a parent or carer and you want to enhance the quality of care and communication for your family member or the person you're caring for, then the best thing to do would be to go along to a communication workshop, or go along to someone who has insight into communication and look at the different avenues of communication and try the different ones, and really to gain a toolbox of skills of communication, because it might be in different instances they use different communication. So when they're playing with friends, they're relaxed and they can sign, but when they're in a tense situation, they freeze and they can't sign because they're stressed, but they need to use pictures. So it might be in different situations they need to use different communication.
The best thing to do, even with you've got a family that is got a child that's got a communication difficulty, they've found out about Voice Through Your Hands and they've heard about our wonderful workshops, what they do is they flick us an email, and we will try and arrange to run a workshop in the area. And what we quite often do is we work really closely with the local Ministry of Education, Special Ed, and quite often they normally provide us a venue, which is fantastic. And so then that sort of brings the cost down, and then we'll come into the area, and the workshops is a really good base to find about who we are and what we do, and what we can provide and support them with.